Alright, so it's been a few hours since my video on Thonar has been live, and reading the comments, I wanted to address the common opinion now that I've been seeing that Thonar is really, really bad, and that we will eventually get another character for dogs. Now, we might get another character for dogs. There's nothing stopping them, you know. The bird, deer, and dogs, just because we get a character that specifically says in the passive, like, dogs, whatever, does this, doesn't mean that a future character that doesn't have that in the passive isn't necessarily designed for it. It just so happens that it's really good for it. Simple putting, Freyr is not designed for deer or for bird, but I like using him in there because he works pretty well. So same thing for here, but a character that is specifically designed for the dogs, I don't think I don't think in the near future we'll get it. Maybe in a few months, like maybe 6, 8, 9 months from now, maybe. But this Thonar, unlike the popular opinion, she is incredibly powerful. And it's really interesting because the only reason why people are hating so much on her is because people wanted Freya to be the character designed for dogs, and so did I. But that's what we got, right? We got Thonar, which isn't as popular of a character. But she is very, very good, especially if you've done dogs before and you end up pulling her, you will notice a significant increase on your team's power if you use her. Now, of course, I already beat with her, right? Stuff like that. I'm just going to show this clip because it's like something that it's really funny. You'd think it's normal, but it's only happening because of Thonar. So this is floor 3, phase 3, and I do a level 1 with Trader Melee. Damage cap. This happens almost every single time Melee does level 1. He hits damage cap. Amplify, right? And you may think, oh yes, it's Trader Melee. It's usual for him to always hit damage cap when he does level 1 amplifies. Not on dogs. It's not usual. The only times I would see Melee do this with level 1s is when I had, like a Galfer Relic procced. That's it. But here, I constantly have Galfer's Relic procced, essentially, because she's giving all allies 40% accurate stats and a blue buff as well, which helps with the Amplify. Thonar is optimal for dogs, and she is best described as Megelda 2.0. Now, I do think this Thonar is way, way better than Megelda was at launch. Megelda was a terrible character at launch. Atrocious. She was horrible. But then eventually, a little unit called Trader Meliodas came out and saved her. And also the Holy Relic. The Holy Relic is the biggest thing that happened to her because there is a big difference between using her with and without the Holy Relic. It's a night and day difference. And Thonar is honestly way better. I've used her for a few hours. She's way better than Megelda was at launch. Now, again, just like Megelda, the character that was designed first for the activity, Freyr, is still a character you want to run. But I don't think he's as necessary anymore. People are already coming up with multiple teams that don't use Freyr to beat the dogs. And like I saw, let me actually pull this up. Andy, he's known for being a really good Demonic Beast battle player. He just beat it with Rimuru. Rimuru. Freyr, Scotty, Rimuru. In the end, Rimuru. But it makes sense. Rimuru's ultimate is very powerful, and day one, when dogs came out, we really wanted to use Rimuru. And we couldn't because he just didn't do so well. But now I guess it is possible. This unit is honestly better. She's because she's designed specifically for dogs, she makes actually a bigger impact than Freyr himself. Freyr, the only thing that he does is stop the ignites, right? Honestly, like the Death Ultimate is very powerful, but this card and this card are subpar at best. So when you're using him, you're using for his ultimate and his passive. And the Thonar passive is better because it gives all your teammates 40% accurate stats. Your teammates are mostly doing the DPS units at least. Except for Frere barely does like damage cap, unless he does like a level 2 cleave. But Shredder melee, like he's the DPS on your team. He's constantly doing level 1 damage caps, right? So this unit is really good. What she needs is a Holy Relic, because as it is, she's not Jormungandr, and that's what we expected, right? Jormungandr is a different beast. Like she's so overpowered. Like you look at her passive, it's like, yeah, she gives all allies 60% all stats. Like, yeah, she was overpowered. Straight up. She was just straight up overpowered. And unfortunately, Thonar isn't. Thonar is not overpowered. She's really good. So yeah, I mean, you can skip her if you want. I always say, do whatever you want, I'm not your dad. But saying that she's bad is ludicrous, because you probably only think she's bad because you just haven't seen me struggle so hard on dogs when I'm on stream and doing my runs of the week. And like, I dread doing dogs every week, because like dogs are so bad. It's just such a bad activity. It's so RNG focused. And with Thonar, I did dogs today with bad passives, which means that I don't need to keep resetting all the time, every single time that I want to do it, which was the most annoying thing, having to reset for countless hours until you get the proper passives. And I don't feel like I need to anymore. I didn't do a run on stream. Let me go on dogs here. With, if it loads, Scotty over Frere. Biggest problem, actually, this is I want to say the best team right now, because you have the ignite stopping, which I think, you know, if you're going to use a character to stop the ignites, is much better than Elasticula, right? Liz is still like super powerful. I would hope that her Holy Relic is designed in a way that it nullifies the need for Liz, because I think Liz holds us back when we're doing dogs, because she does a lot, actually. She does so much. Apart from buffing your whole team, like HP related stats, the ult rushing, the cleanse, and the buff removal is actually really good. But if we could get a character, or if we could get a Holy Relic for her, that would give us the cleanse, especially. Like if it was, I was talking about this on stream, the way she procs her passive is every single time you do damage to the boss 3 times, you reapply the 40% attack related stats, right? If every single time you reapply the 40%, you cleanse 1 debuff from every ally and heal X amount, boom, that's all she needs. And you wouldn't need to use Liz anymore and use like Brynhilder. And that's not far-fetched, because I'm telling you, this unit was so shit. Before her relic, she was awful. She was so bad. But her relic was game-changing. Actually game-changing for her. It made her so much better. She's actually like... She went from a 3 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. Like, straight up. And I think it could be a similar case, although I wouldn't say that... I think that the way it is, Thonar is like a 6 out of 10. As a character, like, I think... A lot of people are still not going to be able to easily defeat dogs just by pulling her, like with Jormungandr. But she could go from a 6 to a 10 very easily. But yeah, she's really good. Really, really powerful. It makes runs more consistent. But I was going to say, I was running this team, right? Scotty, because then you would get ignited like crazy. And... Where is she? Brynhilder. This worked pretty well. I didn't beat floor 3 only because when I did my run, if you've ever done Demonic Beast, you know, when you start up your run, you can't like change links and stuff until you go back and restart from the beginning. And I was already in floor 3 and Scotty was getting demolished. So she was the one in the Tarmiel link, not Thonar. So I needed to like swap the Tarmiel link, and I was like, if I'm gonna redo this, I'll do this tomorrow. So I'm actually going to do this tomorrow, and probably give Scotty HP defense over attack defense, but we'll see. But yeah, don't sleep on Thonar. Your judgment of her is different as someone that has never done the activity compared to someone that has. Again, I seen like people, like Marilli, like he only beat dogs today for the first time in Floor 3, right? Because I saw that was his title, right? And like the difference is clear. Using her and not using her is a big difference. The unfortunate thing is that Freya is not on her banner, and if you don't have Freya, you can now still beat it. It's actually much more, like if you didn't have Freya before, I feel like it wasn't even worth attempting. But if you have her and you don't have Freya, it's worth trying. I think Floor 2 is like an easy beat for most players now if you have her, and of course Shreya Melly is still needed, but it's much more easily attainable, right, than it was beforehand. If you didn't have Freya, especially, even if you had a low dupe Freya, it was like still very difficult. But if you have a low dupe Freya and her, it's like different story. Yeah, the the holy relic she gets might also change things up. But the way it is, the only thing I really hate design-wise for her, they really shafted her cards. Like her ultimate is fine. Like this is the same ultimate as Thonar, that's why they didn't change it. They gave her a passive that triples the damage from her ultimate to make it so it's like weak point always applies, right? To compensate. They didn't want to change the character. They didn't want to like, I guess they didn't want it to be Freya. I don't know why, but it could have been like a different character, right? A different named character with a different ultimate. It doesn't matter. Like the ultimate is weak point and it's always applied. It's like you're always doing the ultimate with weak point because of the passive, right? But the cards, like, this should have been Janna's card. This should have been the stance removal level 1, especially as a debuff. You can't debuff them. Like, it's so bad. And the ult removal, it should have been a different card. It should have been either Galfer's card, honestly, or at least the new one. Like, this is the old one. The one that takes off only 1. Like, for the most part, taking off 2 ultimate gauge is not a difference whatsoever. But what they should have changed the multiplier, because this, you can patience the dog. You can legit patience the white dog in the first phase if he has a defense buff, because the multiplier is so low. So bad decision on their end, I feel like, and the character would have been way better received. But don't sleep on her. It's just being grossly misunderstood how good she is. Not as good as Jormungandr. Not even close. I think Jormungandr was obscenely overpowered. Thank God she was, because Deer... I think, unironically, Deer right now is more annoying than dogs. If you have... this is not the best team. I was just trying out stories. So if you have the best Deer team... Let me rock my best Deer team, which I've my favorite Deer team, the one that I have the best runs with and more consistent runs. The best Deer team, right, still is more annoying to run than the best dog team. It is. Deer is now starting to be more annoying than dogs, because of this Thonar. But in any case, let me know what you think. Again, there are some flaws, but just because it's not Freya does not mean she's bad. I hope Freya is a unit like Freyr, where she's an all-encompassing good PvE unit, where she can be running all demons. If Freya is a blue character especially, and I can run her over Milim, that'd be pretty cool. Or even like replace my Galfer here. That'd be pretty cool, like a double single target character. And also be really good for dogs and like replace Liz. I would like that, but she's not bad. You just haven't done dogs and you don't know what you're doing if you think she's bad. That's my point.